So before you listen to this episode, I do want to make this clear that I did not know that the trailer for season 3 Cobra Kai was going to be released along with the release date. So when you hear us talk about our theories and stuff, we think it's in the summer, but really it's already going to be released for January, and there's a season 3 trailer already with new footage for Cobra Kai season 3. But continue to listen, support, and thank you for listening. Hey everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of Spoiler Force Podcast. You can find more episodes on any major podcasting platform such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, and even on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure to follow and like Spoiler Force Podcast on Facebook.
Hey, what's up, Ranger fans? This is Steve Cardenas, aka Rocky the Red Power Ranger, and you are listening to Spoiler Force Podcast. Morphin' time.
All right, so this is episode 73 of Spoiler Force Podcast. My name is Ricky, and thank you for tuning in. This week's guest is returning for, I think, his third or fourth time? It's been a while. I haven't had him back on since earlier this year, around like March, around there. We did an episode actually that was originally episode 59, but we scrapped it because it felt kind of just too rushed. But now we set the stuff up. We're getting ready to roll, and as you can see in the title, this topic for this week has been something we've been working on for, and just I can't wait to talk with him about it. Let me bring my guest, Andrew Lee. There you go, former Pop Look Podcast mate here and good friend of mine for over the past 10 years. And you recently got married, what, a week ago?
It's a week. Well, I mean, with Hmong terms, I don't know. It's confusing. I mean, would it be the day that I paid for her? Which kind of sounds weird, or
the dowry is what counts. It's not even about like the whole ceremony.
So I was married. I don't know what you would call it official, because we still got our big one. We did the what Hmong people would call it the not chong, the dinner. It was more of a lunch. So is that the official one, or is the official one when we sign papers and whatever? So
yeah, I don't know. It really depends on how you look at it. But I'd say you guys are practically living together already. So I mean, you're married.
It's been a week, dude. I did so much stuff around the house or the apartment already. Putting up her desk drawer that she just bought, and our nightstand, and then her shoe racks that's coming in this morning later on. And dude, I'm doing man work, man.
Like, I'm not used to this shit. That's all right, man. I think that's cool that you're doing it, and it's finally you're back on, like, living on your own again too, with you and Crystal. I think that's great. So congratulations to you both. But yeah, man, this week's topic, man, Karate Kid. Holy shit, dude! Like, you I know you were on the show first. Like, you watched it when it was still on YouTube Red. And you were the ones that was like, you guys gotta watch Cobra Kai, man. It's so good. And no one believed you until it jumped on Netflix. Now everyone's watching it.
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, I can hear you now.
I'm using this headset since I don't know, for some reason my Yeti mic's not working on my PC. I think it's a cable. So plus I'm actually connected through a wire on my router on my PC, so I'm just gonna have to use this.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So for listeners, Andrew, for the ones who aren't watching the video format, Andrew has switched over to a different microphone. His PC is connected to his actual router, so he's working from home. So if it sounds like he's on a phone call, it's his headset, and then he actually does deal with clients over the phone.
Yeah, but I don't use this microphone. I use this cheap ass one right here.
Sounds much worse.
I don't know. According to Juan, he says it sounds like we're sitting right next to him. So I don't know, but yeah. So like I was saying before we got cut off. Hopefully I don't get cut off again. I think it's, but yeah, I took advantage of the whole YouTube Red thing and only paid for like a month subscription and just binge watch it before I have to, resubscribe. Get paid for another month of YouTube Red. I don't ever use YouTube Red besides Cobra Kai. So
Yeah, I only watched, or I didn't even use YouTube Red. I only wanted to use it to watch Cobra Kai and to watch Wong Fu's Single by 30. But then by the time the pandemic rolled around, they already made it free to watch. So I binged through that too. So yeah, YouTube Red I know they were trying to do like the whole streaming service, no ads and stuff. I think that's what makes it good is like you get no ads and everything. But I don't know, I just didn't really like the content they were putting up on their streaming or exclusive service.
I think the only thing that was worth watching. I mean, I didn't watch anything else. But the only thing worth watching was Cobra Kai. I think that is what drew people to actually subscribe to YouTube Red. Other than that, like, I mean, I think they tried advertising some Aquafina show. I think Aquafina had a show on YouTube Red, but other than that, Cobra Kai was the only thing worth watching on it. And once you're done watching Cobra Kai, you kind of just cancel your subscription.
Did they drop all the episodes like all in one go on YouTube Red? Or was it weekly?
It was all one go.
Oh,
now
shit.
I mean, if they did it weekly, then
Yeah, you can only watch one episode.
Yeah,
you have to pay for it.
like you pretty much pay for 2 months worth of YouTube Red. So yeah, I mean, I think nowadays streaming services are going that route with their shows. I mean, you'll get The Boys season 2. They're doing it weekly. What other show is doing weekly? I know
the Korean dramas on Netflix were sure.
they're doing that weekly. I think they're trying to figure something out, trying to keep people to stay subscribe. I mean, unless if you actively use the subscription the streaming site for more than just that one show, then yeah, they'll probably drop everything. But
yeah, I think that's what it is, right? Because I think with Stranger Things, everyone subscribed to Netflix really quickly for Stranger Things, and then once they binged it or was done with it, they just like there was a huge decline of like people watching Netflix or like Orange is the New Black or something like that. So I understand from their perspective of like keeping their business up, making it weekly, but it sucks because now it's like watching TV all over again with the cable. You got to wait every week for it, and it just becomes a hassle to watch shows now. And I mean, I don't know, we're used to it though because we watch anime. I at least I wait weekly for it. I don't know if you binge it or just watch it.
I do both. I mean, I start watching maybe the first few episodes every week, and then I got after like 4 episodes, I just wait for it. I did that with My Hero. With Demon Slayer was a different story because I started it and then I had to catch up to it weekly later on. So
yeah,
it's like it just depends on my mood. So
yeah, I think it does really depend on what content you're watching. But again, back to Karate Kid, man. We both are fans of the franchise. We got to meet Billy Zabka at Motor City Comic Con. What was it, 2019 or 2018, around there?
I don't know. After so many years of going, they all just kind of become
right?
one.
Yeah, just like one big blob of memory.
Yeah.
When we met him, though, I don't think I've told this story on our podcast, or at least I don't know if it was on Public or on here, but when we met him, we were first in line for like we were in the first group of people waiting in line for Billy Zabka before he even got to the table to sign his autographs and stuff. So we met him when he was like fresh, happy. He has his coffee and everything. He was waiting to see everyone. And then you met him first. You got your autograph from him to get for your mom. What was it?
It was,
sweep the leg or something like that?
yeah, it was the one where him and Danny are like facing off each other at the tournament. I was like, because my mom was the one that actually got us to watch Karate Kid, because it's one of her favorite things. So I was like, yeah, I'll get this for her, and I got it for her, and I took a picture with Billy, Will, whatever, same name, Zapka, the real Karate Kid according to Barney Stinson. But yeah, I took a picture of him. He was cool. I was standing behind Brian Heights, one of my buddies. He didn't know I was behind him, but he's a Vin Diesel looking dude.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember him now. Now that, like you say Vin Diesel, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He was. I've seen him around before.
Yeah, so he bought Billy Zabka like a case of the Coors Light that he was drinking on the show. But from what I heard, he actually doesn't like drinking Coors Light, but you know, it was a gimmick. So yeah, he bought him a case, a 6 pack. Where he's like, "Oh, that's cool." But it was cool. You know, I think Billy Zabka's a cool guy. I but to be honest, I think I wouldn't have gone met him if it wasn't for the show. So I
Okay.
mean, yeah. So I think if I didn't watch Cobra Kai, I probably would just skipped his line or skip meeting him. But figured, mom's birthday. I just saw the show. He's seems like a cool guy. So
Yeah, I took advantage to meet him because the first time I've met him and Ralph Macchio was Motor City Comic Con 2015. At the time, that was my very first convention, so I didn't know that you can go to the booth and get autographs and meet them like longer than the photo ops. I thought the photo ops was like a better chance for you to meet them and then get a professional photo done, but it wasn't. So I had that all mixed up. So the first time I met them, it was only for like not even 10 seconds. I got to meet the actor who played Kreese, met Billy Zabka, met Ralph Macchio. Ralph Macchio called me Batman because of my shirt, so I will never forget that day. If any listeners, you guys go on the Spoiler First podcast page, I should have a photo up of myself with the three of them, and then also with one with Billy Zabka from the most recent photo with them. And yeah, when I met him for the most recent time when we met him, just something that was memorable for me was like when we took the fighting stance pose, and he was like, "Hey man, do you train? I can tell that you know how to you know how to hold your stance." I'm like, "Yeah, I did like boxing and wrestling." He's like, "Yeah, and you should go do karate." Obviously promoting the show, but it was cool, man. Like I just remember after meeting him, I went up. You were waiting, and I went up to him like, "Oh my god, dude, we just met Billy Zabka." I was like so geeked out just meeting him, and was getting able to speak with him longer than the first time I met him. So anyone who's listening, definitely if conventions ever get back up, if you get the chance to meet Billy Zabka or any of the Karate Kid actors, do it. They're fantastic people. So now with season 1 and 2 both dropping on Netflix, people get to binge them much quickly or more quickly, and then they've also confirmed season 3 to be on Netflix next summer. Um, I before when we were having the connection issues, I was letting the fans know that we won't break down the movies too much because it's not really about the movies. I mean, it is based off from the movies, but the movies we won't like go into detail of what we thought of the movies and stuff like that. Maybe like bits and pieces. But
yeah,
for season, oh, go
because
ahead.
I didn't really see three. I only saw one or
Yeah,
two.
yeah. Yeah, so that's why like, I don't want to break down the trilogy or even the fourth one down because I haven't really watched that part 4 with Hilary Swank. I saw like bits and pieces of it growing up, and then Karate Kid 3 I only saw it once, and then Karate Kid 2 maybe like 2 or 3 times. But part 1 is the best one.
Mhm. Yeah,
So Cobra Kai season 1, they pick up right after they show you the aftermath of just Johnny losing to Daniel, and then he's an adult now, like what 30 years later, just being a handyman, doing his own thing, living on his own. I really like how they kind of just built up his story with season 1. Like you kind of see it in his shoes, how he felt about Daniel, about losing, and then just as much as he didn't like Kreese, he still teaches in that same way, that same fashion, the strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Miguel, who is one of the main characters in the show, who's the first student of Cobra Kai, learns karate from Johnny, and it's just about them and how they progress. So, what did you think of season 1, Andrew, when you first watched it?
Well, season one was pretty much, I mean, the first movie. I thought it was really good. Building up everything, bringing kind of. If you never watched the movies, it kind of connects, like catches you up with what happened. Um, I think the first one is pretty much all about the character growth and who each character was and who they grew up to be. And obviously, this is coming from Johnny's side. You kind of see his point of view and um, you know how his life has turned up after high school, pretty much, like after the tournament. um but I also think the first season was kind of showing you how you know, a lot. It's just all about it's all a lot about misunderstanding each other in a way. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, who if you go to Johnny when Johnny tells the story of his breakup of Allie and everything, it's like okay, now you see from his point of view, he was trying to change. It happened that like this and this and that. I mean, they pretty much explain it on how I Met Your Mother. We could talk about that later. But then after you see it from that point of view, you're like, man, now that I think about it, I mean, yeah, everything was a
Daniel's kind of an ass.
misunderstanding. Yeah, everything was everything's a misunderstanding. It's all about your point of view and your perspective. And like, I mean, if a dude came up to my girl and what did what Daniel did, I'll be mad too. Even if we're broken up, I'll be upset. I mean, you've seen movies, you've seen real life how people react when it comes to their ex. Like we were talking about Wong Fu with Strangers. That's the last thing I remember seeing where, he saw his ex with some other dude. He's like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's
You
like
still feel like that connection with that person, even though you're
yeah.
broken up.
So it's like I can get that point of view on why Johnny acted that way. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, he shouldn't have done it in the first place. I mean, it's like you're broken up, kind of let go. But I get it. And then you saw Danny doing what he did, and that actually happens. You kind of see that happen to Miguel. Miguel is actually compared to Johnny. Two different people, but then Miguel was like he legit started out as like the good guy, like a good kid, and then you kind of see his development on why he turned, and especially when you're a young kid, dude, like love makes you do stupid stuff. Love makes you, if you call it love makes you feel certain ways. So I mean,
or put it in the terms of like high school love, right?
Yeah,
It's very childish, very new. But yeah, I agree with what you said with Miguel. Like you see him in almost a point of view, like almost Daniel, in a way. He's bullied by the high school wrestlers and the Asian kid and whatnot. But as he trains with Johnny, learning the ways of Cobra Kai, you can see the mentality of himself change. He becomes more confident. He doesn't. He speaks out more. He acts out more, not in a bad way, but he's able to defend himself more, and he's more. At the end, he's just more confident. But there was points in the show where that confidence did lead him to another ass whooping, and then he came back and won against what was that? The Asian kid Kyler, whatever his name is, some weird ass name. I don't know. I never liked that kid's name, like Kyler. I don't know which Asian why an Asian family would name their kid Kyler. But anyways, that's not the point.
Could be adopted.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen the Asian dude be the bully like that, like the top kid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just growing up. I'm just used to the nostalgic of seeing either a white dude or a black dude who is the top dog in the high school. Never in my life is this an Asian dude. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe being biased because I'm Asian.
Like, for us growing up, it was hard. Like we'd never seen an Asian kid like be the bully or again be like some sort of alpha male. It's always like it's either they were the nerd or just the background character.
Yeah,
they weren't important.
I mean, you see it in like Asian movies, like look at the Tokyo Drift. I mean, obviously they're in Tokyo.
Those are like the oldest high schoolers.
Yeah,
though, man.
Yeah, but that's the only time you've ever seen like an Asian dude who is in that kind of role for an American adaptation of something.
All right, but quick tangent though. I mean, Tokyo Drift though, man, those fuckers were old as hell. Like the guy who played, was it Sean? The dude was practically going bald already, and he's like a senior in high school, like old as fuck.
Yeah, and then you look into what was it when they finally bring all that around into Vin Diesel going to pick up Han's body.
Right,
he's older.
His hairline's receding already, and he looks just as old as Toretto.
Yeah, and he's in high school still.
Like a college student still.
Yeah, but that's 90. Like, well, I mean that movie was in the 2000s, but an old 90s film. All the high school kids look like they're graduating high school, college already.
Yeah, but back to Miguel though. I mean, even just how they casted him too. Like apparently he's a pretty young kid, but I love the growth of his character. I think that's why out of the students that they show in the Cobra Kai show, he's my favorite so far.
Yeah.
And
I
with,
think what
oh god,
yeah with Miguel, I think you kind of see that he can be back and forther. Like he good guy. You kind of see the douchebag in him, but then he's the character who you could see redeeming himself, especially
Yeah.
after what happened with season 2.
yeah, and we'll get to that in a moment too. But season 1 again, he's learning from Johnny Lawrence, and because of that, Daniel sees the Cobra Kai, or excuse me, dojo and everything, and he wants to start trying to take down Cobra Kai. But even with that though, man, like with Daniel's character, for listeners, you guys may have not seen. There's a video on YouTube where you just type in like Daniel's the bad guy or something like that. They just kind of break down. I think it's like just for fun. I don't think it was anything serious, but it just breaks down and gives audiences the point of view that Johnny is the real Karate Kid. He's the good guy. He didn't do anything wrong, and that Daniel is the one that is the antagonist of everything. So they kind of play off of that too in Cobra Kai, where they give you scenes of not Johnny, but Daniel being an asshole. Even though he's successful, he still kind of picks at Johnny when they meet again as adults, and it's that confrontation in that the animosity is still there. There's Johnny's still bitter against Daniel because he knows that he should have won, but Daniel won with the crane kick, and apparently I think they pointed it out too that it was supposedly an illegal kick, that he wasn't supposed to win off of that, but he did anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what's legal and what's not when it comes to those tournaments, but yeah, I mean, 3 months of not seeing a dude or talking to a dude, and you go at a Halloween party and spray the kid. I mean, come on, dude. That's legit like bully move. Like, come on, dude. Everything died down. It's like, dude, just why?
Right, let that shit go. and then Johnny and his boys gets beat up by Mr. Miyagi, who in that video they're like the demon sorcerer Miyagi or something like that. That's what they called him.
Oh, and and Mr. Miyagi, he didn't know. He doesn't know. He's just an old dude who saw a kid defenseless and, oh, this kid is in trouble. Maybe I should go help him. But I think later on, I'm pretty sure Mr. Miyagi, as wise as he is, kind of realized what kind of kid Johnny is, but thought that maybe he can change Johnny's heart and personality. But yeah,
I think even in the part 1 of the movie, Miyagi tells Daniel, it's the student learns from the teacher. So if you have a bad teacher, then you're going to learn bad things, and that's exactly what it was. Johnny is not exactly super innocent, but he is learning the ways of his karate and his lifestyle with the mentality of Cobra Kai from Kreese, who is, I think, the actual real villain in the Karate Kid series. And even in Cobra Kai season 1, Johnny doesn't like to fight dirty or to cheat, as we saw in the tournament near the end of season 1 where they're competing. He doesn't like dirty tactics. He wants to win fair and square, but still show that karate, like his style of karate, is badass. And this is where I really like Johnny's character, because he knows what's right and what's wrong, but it's just his style of karate, that what he's learned all those years, like that's ingrained in him. That's all he knows.
Yeah. I don't know if it's more. I don't know about his style, but it's just the philosophy of what he was taught. I mean, the style that they know. I mean, it defends. It's still martial arts, but it's just what you do with it, how you see it is what is who you're gonna become. Like I do believe in that philosophy. Like it's not about it's a lot more on who teaches you and how they teach you. I mean, you're starting your martial arts back up. I've had my share of trainers in professional wrestling, or I've seen people who were trained by other people, and the way that they're taught in their classes, or the way how they just see things, it does play out a lot in like people, like how they live their life, or how they live their lives. I mean, with me in my wrestling school, my trainers taught us a certain way, how you should act in the locker room, or how you should be. Don't do this, don't do that. And you could tell a lot by people in the locker room on who was trained by who, because some people don't have the proper training, don't have the right philosophy. They just know how to kick ass. That's it. And after that, it's like, well, why don't people like me? It's like, well, because you're
Pretentious, man.
you do this and that. I mean, if you know more about MMA than I do. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it really comes down, again, it just comes down to who's teaching, and that's what it was for Johnny. He learned from someone who had a very alpha male, very dominant style of karate. And when you look at the comparisons of Cobra Kai style versus Miyagi-Do, Miyagi was teaching Daniel that it was just for defense. He's teaching him how to stay humble. He's teaching him how to use karate for when it's important. It's not about winning. It's about it's a lifestyle. It's defending others. While Cobra Kai, again, it's in their mantra: strike hard, strike first, no mercy. It's go for it. Like what's positive about it is like you go for what you want, but at the same time, it's teaching these students that do whatever it takes to win. And I think that's where Johnny kind of like notices that, man, I need to start changing how I'm training these kids, because we see it in the progression of season 1. He's teaching Miguel that you have to be badass. If you want something, go get it. Especially when it comes to the girls in the show. Like if you see a girl at a party, go get her. You strike first. And even like with the kids that he's training, the kid Hawk. They called him Lip the whole time because he had a messed up lip, and Johnny's teaching him like, you got to be badass. You don't look badass. I'm going to make fun of you. So if you don't want to be made fun of, change. And that's exactly what he did. He came back with the tattoo and a mohawk, and you see how ignorant he becomes in the show. And
now he's annoying.
Yeah. So like each student that comes in, like you see them change and learn from Johnny, but there's also the negatives that come with it. But also though, because Johnny's doing this, he also has his own son, Robbie, that they explain that, he had a child, but they're not together, and his child hates him. And I think this is where the good twist comes in, where Robbie goes to train with Daniel out of spite to get back at his dad. What did you think of Robbie's character when they introduced him into Cobra Kai?
I thought it was cool that you finally see someone who is being taken under someone else's wing, and you could see him. He just had a I mean, it's kind of cliche in my opinion. You see a kid. Because his parents didn't really give a crap about him. He grew up the way he was. He's letting that be the reason why he is who he is. But seeing him develop into who he is now, it's I thought I don't know. I lost my train of thought, but I think he. I thought it was cool to see them bring a character who. You could show that that change can happen, and all you need to do is just have the right people by your side to show you, what's good in life and what's not good in life, and hey, things change, and it's time to grow. So, in a way, I like his character, but his character looks kind of too 90s looking. Like his hair.
He's got long hair and he's like blonde and everything.
I like it. That's the kind of stuff that I see in the 90s movies, man. Yeah.
He looks more like those like surfer skateboarding kids from California. He doesn't like not that he doesn't look tough, but he doesn't, at least for me, he doesn't look like the type of character who'd be the hero.
Yeah.
But with Daniel's teaching him in the show, with season 1, you learn more about Daniel's side of him being a sensei now. And I think that's what was great with Cobra Kai season 1, is that now you see these students become the teacher, and how Daniel applies Miyagi's teaching to these kids. And then there was the first clip I've ever seen of Cobra Kai is the one you sent me, with Daniel going back to Miyagi's grave and talking to Miyagi's like, man, I don't know how you did this. I don't know how to handle this. And it was very emotional, because these years you kind of feel that, Daniel's lost his way, and he doesn't have balance, and balance is a big part of the show,
Right.
And he goes to Miyagi's grave, and you just kind of feel that you start to sympathize with Daniel, knowing that he doesn't mean to be kind of asshole, kind of like that, but
he gets lost in the moments.
Yeah.
Daniel gets lost in a moment, like when Johnny goes to the dealership to try to get his car. It's like, all right, because they were making fun of Johnny, it's like, oh, cool, I get to finally be a part of the cool crowd. I want to make fun of him too, and it's like, dude, like because of that attitude, it's why Johnny hates you.
I mean, and Daniel does, he does come off very aggressive too. Like he's not a timid person. He is pretty aggressive when it comes down to it. But the scene when he goes back to his car and he just looks back out the window and remembers what Miyagi said, like balance, it's not just for karate, it's for all of life. If you don't have balance, you can't work things out. And I think that flashback, man, that shit hit home for me because, I can't pronounce his name, but Pat, who played Mr. Miyagi, he, with him passing in real life and then having his character, passed away in the show too, it really just shows you how much of a part Miyagi played in the entire Karate Kid franchise.
Yeah.
So, were you gonna say something?
I was gonna talk about how this shows up. Like we were talking about how Danny and Johnny, they just can't let go of the past. I was just thinking about that conversation they had in the dealership. It's like, if it was me with some dude from high school 10 years ago, I think we would probably still have conversations that way, make fun of each other, but yet be okay with it because we were kind of laughing at ourselves in the past. I think with this whole show shows that even like a guy like Johnny and Daniel, they can't let go. They can't let it go personally.
Yes.
So
there's just this rivalry between them, and
yeah,
when you look at it like hindsight, it's kind of pathetic. Like
it is.
Grown ass men can't let high school shit go.
I always bring this up. When we talk about when we first started hanging out 10 years ago, we did backyard MMA type stuff, and you kept kicking my ass and stuff. I mean, it's like we talk about it and make a joke out of it. Or I make a joke out of it. And I think you make a joke out of it too. We just kind of let that go. I don't take it personally. It's just we're kids. What do we know? We got, if anything, we got better shit to do in life than to.
Yeah. I mean, even stuff like that, for us, we've been friends for so long. It's just something to look back on, when we're old. It's like, damn, we went from from church friends to, you remember when we were training at Ricky's backyard and try to be fighters. It's just something to laugh about. It's memorable. Yeah. But the thing with Daniel and Johnny, man, they make it so personal between them. They still hold on to that man, I can't believe I lost to you at that tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's also been a reoccurring theme too. I think with their rivalry, and especially till today, even with season 1 and 2, it's just a lot of being in the right place but at the wrong time.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think a lot of their misunderstanding, especially with going back to the first Karate Kid movie, it's like you come to the beach and you show up and you see your girl talking to some other dude. Now, if Johnny would have showed up earlier, maybe things might have been different. If he would have showed up late, things would have been different. Yeah, cool, Danny's there, and if he didn't see Danny, it would have just been like, hey, I met some other dude, leave me alone type of stuff. And it probably would have been different. I'm pretty sure if Johnny didn't go to the beach at that moment and saw her the next day at school, they had a conversation. She's like, look, I met someone else, whatever. I'm pretty sure Johnny would have tried to get to know who he is a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe start something and later eventually realize, oh, this guy's a nice guy. I don't know. But
yeah, they even show, I don't know if it was in season 1, but they even show when they had their moments together, just them two, and they learn about each other. I mean, you learn about Johnny's background, his dad is not even his real dad, it's his stepdad, and he was quote unquote rich because of his stepdad, and then he learns about Daniel's past and vice versa, and then they become more friendly. And now this is where it gets more towards in season. I think this was in season 1, where he learned that Robbie was training under Daniel, and then I forgot to bring this up to Daniel's daughter. I forgot her name already, but
I keep hearing it too.
The most annoying character on Cobra Kai, in my opinion. She's she learned karate from Daniel too, but like she's in the drama between the teenagers, between Robbie and Miguel. And, there's that kind of tension there too. So, that just adds more fuel to the flame between the schools, between Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai. And when they go and compete, Robbie goes and tries to represent himself, but then at the end he makes it to the finals, and he is again or how can I word this? Daniel takes him back as his student. So the final was him and Miguel. They go at it, and Miguel wins, but then not in the fashion where Johnny wanted him to win. He ended up, I think he kicked. Did he kick Robbie's shoulder? He did something.
I think it's just the fact that he aimed for his shoulder.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because he pulled his shoulder. Yeah, that's right, because Hawk kicked his shoulder out, and then when Miguel was on the floor, he yanked Robbie's shoulder down, and then he won, but then it wasn't in the way that Johnny wanted. And then there's also the fact that Johnny did not even tell his students that Robbie's his son, so that is going to be a big part. And then pretty much, the end of season 1, Johnny gets what he's always wanted. Cobra Kai wins. He wins. But even then, man, he still feels like it's not a clean win. And then the end of season 1, we see Kreese come back. And I think that was such a good cliffhanger for season 1 to see I'm getting the words mixed up. To see Kreese come back and try to work with Johnny with Cobra Kai. But overall, I thought season 1 was fantastic. I really enjoyed not just the nostalgia, but the way how they implemented, again, with the movies into the show. I mean, we may not have covered everything exactly, but we're still going to discuss season 2 as well. So with season 2, it picks up right off. Just like in the movies, it picks up right off after the tournament. Kreese and Johnny go at it. And it's funny watching like these older actors like do the fight scenes, and like you see how slow they move. And I don't know. I didn't like how they made it seem like Johnny couldn't handle Kreese when he's so much older.
They do move slow. I don't. Does Billy Zalko do karate in real life?
I think so. I think and from what I've seen, like with the behind the scenes of Karate Kid and like just the interviews and stuff like that, apparently Billy Zabka was a white belt at the time when they filmed Karate Kid 1, so he knew a little bit. I think the only 2 black belts at the time in the of Karate Kid 1 was the guy who played Bobby, the Luke Skywalker looking kid, and then the Asian guy, that Hawaiian looking dude. I forgot what his name was in the movie, but he's the one that made it to the semifinals in Karate Kid 1.
Yeah, so I really don't remember too much of that.
Yeah. They were apparently they were the only 2 black belts out of the group. Everyone else was like learning, and then again, obviously Ralph Macchio is not even a fighter, so they had to go easy on him because he was doing his own stunts too. I don't know. I read this. I don't know if this is an actual fact, but I've read this on a comment. They were saying like they let Ralph Macchio hit the actors for real because he couldn't do like that kind of damage. So to make it convincing, he had to really hit the other actors. But the other actors who were like in karate with the background or a little bit of a background, they had to hold back. So I think that's pretty funny. If that's real, then that's fucking funny, man.
I mean, I think if you're good enough of a martial artist, you would know how to control yourself. Which I'm pretty sure if they were good enough, they would know how to really go easy on them and still look good.
Yeah, Billy Zabka looks great in Karate Kid. Like you can just tell by his form. Like even though he was a white belt, it didn't really seem like he was. His technique I thought was pretty good in the movie. If you like podcasts like me and want to start your own, use Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout is a very effective and easy way to begin your podcasting journey. With easy-to-use tools, Buzzsprout can help you get your podcast to major podcasting platforms like Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. You can view stats, create audio clips, and even have your own podcasting website. Buzzsprout has helped hundreds of thousands of people to begin their own podcasts like myself, and you can find ideas, tips, tricks, video tutorials, to better your own podcast. Follow the link in the description to start your own podcast today. And once you sign up, you'll get a $20 Amazon gift card. This lets Buzzsprout know that I sent you, and this also helps support Spoiler Force Podcast. Happy podcasting. Do you struggle with eating junk food and late night snacking? Well, I've been using FNX Sports Rebalance Super Greens, and I've been able to control my eating habits, get my daily vitamins, fiber, and loose fat around my stomach area. The Rebalance Super Greens comes in multiple flavors and is easy to use by just mixing the supplement and water. You can drink this anytime during the day and feel energized without any groggy after effects. Use the code SPOILERFORCE, all one word, SPOILERFORCE, and get 15% off your very first order. But in season 2, he fights Kreese, and that fight scene wasn't convincing to me. I think Johnny could have really handled Kreese much more quickly. But there's a part in there though where he's choking Kreese, and he sees like the shattered glass, looks back to when Kreese was choking him in the beginning of Karate Kid 2, and he feels like that. Oh shit, I'm like Kreese, and then Kreese just convinces him to bring him on to Cobra Kai, and he teaches. He's helped coaching those kids, and then not Cobra Kai, but Miyagi-Do, his Daniel's daughter, joins the team. So it's just her and Robbie. They start training. They do like the pretty cool water balance scene. I think that's what one of the scenes I like too in Cobra Kai was when they're training. You see the differences in training. Miyagi-Do is about, again, balance and being the kata and being very how can I word this? Like very calm. And then the aggression of Cobra Kai, Johnny throws his students into the cement truck and they have to spin the cement thing. So I thought that was really cool that they showed the comparisons of the trainings. What did you think of season 2 of Cobra Kai? I feel like I'm talking too much.
I was actually thinking about this as we were talking. That the whole season 2 was pretty much a gangster show.
Turf wars and stuff.
If you think about it, it's a gangster show. Like, Danny's Cobra Kai is one gang, and then Danny's Miyagi Dojo is one gang, and then Cobra Kai is another gang. They just can't get along, even if nothing bad was happening. Just them being like in each other's presence just kind of just pisses each other off. Like, dude, like no one's doing anything. They're just mad just because one's a blood and one's a crip. Like that's pretty much what the show was. But I was talking to you earlier. Like I think I had, because this week I was all week I was trying to binge watch the show just so I can refresh my memory of the show, because like we were talking about earlier, I watched the show since the beginning of it. You binge watched it like just recently, so I had to rewatch the show just to kind of get all refreshed in my head. For some reason, it was hard for me to just binge through season 2 like I did season 1. Season 1, I only took me like a few hours just to watch. But I think with all the high school drama and the kid stuff in the season 2, it just kind of threw me out of it. So
yeah, season 2 really heavily concentrated on the kids. Again, I don't even remember all the students' names besides Miguel and Robbie, because they're the two that's the most important. And
Miguel,
then
Robbie, Tory, Miguel, Robbie, Tory, and Hawk.
Yeah. I'm looking up the actors. Oh, so Samantha. That's
Sam.
Yeah, that's Daniel's daughter, Samantha. So she and Tory have their own little rivalry going on, and that's the thing with season 2. They when they focused on these students, you saw like the switch up. Some Cobra Kai students went to Daniel because they didn't like the teachings of Daniel and Kreese. One student, that skinny kid, Dimitri, he was the one that was friends with Hawk in the beginning of the show. He went over to Miyagi-Do because he tried to do Cobra Kai, and Kreese punched him in the face. And then he switched over, and his character was annoying to me too, because all he did was like yap. He just had an excuse for everything, and it wasn't until where Daniel trained him where he learned how to use his, like, I guess I don't know, just being cautious or overly cautious to an advantage.
Yeah, Daniel's annoyed of him too.
Yeah, I just didn't enjoy the student aspect, because it was so much about them in season 2 and their teenage drama. But I mean, it does kind of wrap up pretty good with the ending of season 2 because with the love drama between Miguel, Robbie, and Samantha, and then Tory being added on, dating Miguel, it leads up to the confrontation at the end of season 2, and we see that Miguel gets injured, and this is where like I liked it too because Miguel is winning the fight between him and Robbie, and then he thinks back though before even landing a finishing blow, he thinks back of how Johnny told him in season 1 that I believe that you can be the one that can change or be different. So he shows mercy as a Cobra Kai. He shows mercy for the first time, and then Robbie, who is Miyagi-Do, who's supposed to be calm, collected, and more merciful, kicks Miguel off the freaking ledge, and he falls like 2 stories down and is probably paralyzed. We don't know yet, but and there was just so much tension between these teenagers because there's the love triangle. Robbie and Samantha apparently kissed. And they kissed in the show, and then Tory went after Samantha too. We'll talk about Tory's character in a bit, but they just end up having this huge fight scene in the school, which was kind of excessive. It was a bit much.
I don't know, I thought it was one of the best scenes, like the best fight scene like I've seen in the school.
Well, it felt like a big one shot, like a big one shot take kind of thing. That's what I liked about it, but it just seems so unnecessary.
But I did like it's not one specific team won.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Each like a member of each school, did something, beat someone up. It wasn't like all of Miyagi Dojo won.
Like all out brawl. Yeah. They're just all mushing each other. Each student had their own beef with someone else.
Yeah, it's like you have two friends, two big friends who one left to go to Miyagi Dojo and the other one stays. Like, you should have stayed, and they fought, and there's two. They did that person. The 2 little dudes, like the really little white.
That scrawny Asian kid and the scrawny ginger kid.
Yeah, that was funny. Like honestly, normally you would see that as both the kids would go into like the good team or the supposedly good team, and but yeah, it was just they did that. Just I think they did that personally just so they could do that last scene.
Oh, when they get picked up by the adult.
Yeah. That or just like that they branched everyone off into their own groups just so they could have a equal fight, for each person. So
it would have been so much like funnier though. Like imagine just Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do all on one side. They just run into each other like old war movies and just start brawling with each other. Like you can't even break that up. It's just them swinging at each other, like just mass animosity and just chaos in the fight scene of the school. But with Robbie being the one that didn't show mercy, he leaves. He takes off, and we don't see him from the end of the show. But then also you learn, with Tory, there's this fan theory that she could possibly be related to Elizabeth Shue's character, Allie, because she introduces herself with Tory with the Y. Was it Tory with the Y or Tory with an I? I forgot.
I think it's sort of an I.
Oh no, it's Tory with the Y. Here, I just found it. Okay. Yeah, but it's the way how she introduces herself. It's similar to how Allie did it. Allie with an I. It's similar, and that's the thing with her character. She just came out of nowhere. She had like a background in karate or kickboxing already, so there was really no point of her joining Cobra Kai, but she did it anyway. And then Miguel's paralyzed or possibly paralyzed, and that's pretty much how season 2 ended. I mean, there's other things too, like with Johnny and Miguel's mom. I thought that was a pretty funny side tangent scene. Just him thinking that there could be something there with Miguel's mom. They had like the whole music video intro in one of the episodes.
That was a weird between Miguel's mom and Johnny. That was a weird dream.
I think it was like a Whitesnake video. I think that's what it was. It was like a music video.
I messaged you. I forgot that it was a dream. I was like oh, it's a dream because like it became really ridiculous. But yeah, what's the theory be like? How did the theory go be for Tory? Like, he said her mom could be Allie.
Yeah. Like one of the fan theories is like that Tory could be related to Allie, whether it's through like mother daughter kind of thing. But I think one of the ones that they're leaning towards more is that Allie could be like her aunt or something, you know. And then there's like also rumors that Tory could be related to Terry Silver, who was one of the villains in Karate Kid 3. He was another Cobra Kai student and teacher there, and that's what I liked about season 2 as well, is that Daniel talks about how he was Cobra Kai too, and that's from Karate Kid 3. Excuse me, but yeah, with Tori, there's tons of rumors. I'm thinking that she could be related to Allie. I think that's more believable.
I don't think she's Allie's daughter, just because of the way she was explaining her childhood and like when Daniel was talking about Allie to Johnny in the bar, like I don't know, it just
Oh yeah, because Allie's married to that doctor or something like that, right?
and yeah, in a way, if there's a possibility that they're not together anymore, that's why like they're probably teasing up Allie and Johnny finally like maybe getting
Yeah,
back together.
because with that ending scene, like she accepted Johnny's friend request, and then that was a funny scene too, right? When he was messaging her, he wasn't planning to send the message, and then he gets bumped, and bam, got sent.
Yeah, so I don't think Allie is Tori's mom. Maybe it's more. I mean, an aunt might make it more reasonable. Like, might make it more reasonable. I mean, like, perhaps Allie took Tori in because Tori and her mom was going through some troubled times. I don't know. Maybe,
Yeah,
but I don't think it's Allie's. I don't think Allie and Tori are mother and daughter.
yeah. I don't think so either. I do think they could be related or in some way. If not, then I'm guessing that she's related to Terry Silver, who is again the villain in Karate Kid 3, which is why she went to Cobra Kai so easily. She probably knew of Cobra Kai, even though she had that kickboxing background as for her character. But yeah, man, what were your thoughts on when you found out that Daniel was Cobra Kai? Because when you messaged me, when you realized that, you're like, when was he Cobra Kai? You know, I was like, that's in part 3 of the movie, which you haven't really.
Yeah, I didn't see it, and
Yet.
I heard it wasn't good. But in 3, was Kreese also in it too?
Yes, Kreese was in Karate Kid 3. He shows up, like he's the one who initiates Terry Silver to train Daniel the ways of Cobra Kai. And then like near the end, Daniel realizes like what he's been learning and tries to leave, and then Kreese comes out, and then Miyagi saves him from them. But yeah,
because there was that clip. There was a clip in season 2 where what I knew wasn't in the first movie, so I assumed it was from the third movie. Yeah, I never seen the third movie.
he was punching the wood, right?
It was Kreese just walking. There's like a little clip with him just walking. I think it was when he was explaining his life to Johnny at the shelter.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right, because he was technically homeless.
Yeah, so there's that one scene that, like I said, I didn't know. Like I was like, that looks like a scene that happened after Karate Kid 1. But there was one thing though that kind of bugged me about with Johnny and Danny's relationship. At the end of part 1, you actually saw Johnny and Cobra Kai celebrating Daniel's win. Do you remember that?
In the beginning?
At the end of part 1. At the end of part 1, when Johnny won, pretty much Cobra Kai kind of like rose Danny on their shoulder, and they're just celebrating his win.
This was in the movie?
Yeah, the movie, the ending of part 1, you saw them celebrating with Danny. Like pretty much it's one of those, you beat us, we have respect for you now type of moment.
I don't recall that.
Yeah.
I remember Johnny going, you're not, you're pretty good, LaRusso. That's it. When he hands him the trophy.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like that, there's their little celebration. Like that right there. Like I feel like after that moment, wouldn't they kind of like?
Amend things already.
Yeah, and then you see 30 years later, they're
I think it's because of what Kreese did to Johnny. I think maybe if Kreese didn't attack Johnny and break the trophy and put him in a chokehold, I think maybe that would have changed how Johnny thought about Daniel. And then the fact that he had to get saved by Mr. Miyagi in Karate Kid 2, when Miyagi attacks Kreese for attacking Johnny, I think maybe that plays a part mentally for Johnny. Like, shit, man, not only did I lose to Daniel, I got saved by Daniel's teacher too. So I think that maybe internally that's probably something that they should bring up between Johnny and Daniel. And even, you bring up like how they were celebrating, like they even have an episode just based on the Cobra Kai's, that they're missing one of the guys, a Butch or Dutch, whatever his name is. He, I think in real life, he didn't want to come back. He was doing like his own thing. Like he had his own, apparently he's like a NASCAR type racer kind of thing.
The guy you're talking about, the guys you're talking about in the bar.
Yeah. The one that they were like, yeah, he's in jail,
Yeah, I remember them telling that story, but wasn't it? It was pre, like he went to jail pre Allie, right? Like when Allie and Johnny were still together.
No. After, like they explain like why he's not in the show because he's in jail. Like his character is in jail, but in real life at the same time, in reality, when they were filming, he refused to come to he refused to be on the show. So they wrote his character as if he went off to jail.
For 15 years.
Some bullshit like that. So that's why like you only see 4 out of the original Cobra Kai.
That was a sad episode though. That was I think that was like a redemption episode for like those characters in Cobra Kai.
I liked it. I like how you see how each character is
they grew up.
Bobby's, Bobby being the very, I guess you could say pacifist. Bobby in the movie, he's the one that spoke his mind, saying, Daniel, we already beat him up enough for Daniel. Or, when Kreese told him to cheat, he's like, I can take this guy. I don't want to, but I'll be disqualified. He has a very guilty mind when it comes to doing actions that are wrong. So his character is like the pastor now, like a youth pastor. And then
he gets into a bar fight.
Yeah, and he gets to a bar fight.
Imagine seeing Pastor Jimmy. We go. I mean, and the chances. Oh, not Pastor Jimmy. Let's think Seafood Jonathan.
Like one of the young adult pastors that we know.
We're sitting at the bar with Seafood Jonathan, and next thing you know, like I don't know, one of us. Say I don't know which one of us would be most likely to get in a bar fight.
Probably me. I don't think you'd be in the one. If anything, I think you'd probably try to
stop it down. But let's just say you started it, and we're your boys, and we're all there, and some you end up getting ganged up on, and I might try to get in there maybe, and imagine like Seafood Jonathan being there, and guys, come on, and he gets punched, and then he starts fighting back too. Come on, think about it,
Yeah, it's funny when you see like the Cobra Kai's fight in the bar, but then it also shows when these guys still have that mentality. They still, strike first, strike hard. They still do that, and
it's just in the back of your head. It's like riding a bike. It's like it's implanted in you. Second nature, dude.
Yeah, and what's sad about that episode? You talked about how it was a sad one because the character Tommy is the one that dies in the episode, and ironically, Tommy's the one that shouts out, that line from part 1, "Get him a body bag," like very popular line in the Karate Kid franchise.
You think he came up with that? It was his idea?
I don't know. I maybe because when you listen to the actors in the background of like Karate Kid Part 1 when they're fighting, there's one line that guy says like, "Johnny, you're a cream puff." Like who the fuck says that? Who says that about someone who's competing? Like when you're competing, you're heated. You're in the zone. Imagine like trying to wrestle or trying to fight, and then like you hear, "Andrew, you're a cream puff."
like, what does that even mean?
Like what? Like who the hell said that? I think maybe those lines were probably improvised. But the actor who plays Tommy, he played it so good too because he has like that really weird, awkward, villainous laugh in the movie.
Yeah.
But ironically, he gets put in the body bag in the Cobra Kai episode, and I think that's what made that part so impactful was because as we watch the show or in the movies, we recognize that stuff, from the lines and how they make it into a visual thing. And then I learned this earlier this year. I think it was this year. The real actor, he died too. He had like kidney issues.
Yeah. From the article, I think it was like 5 months after.
Yeah, because like they in not movie. I keep thinking movie, but in the show Cobra Kai, he's like apparently he's like terminal. He has like I don't know if it's cancer or something like that, but he's sick, and then he dies on their road trip.
Yeah, that was an emotional moment. I think you kind of, I mean, just watching movies, TV shows our whole lives, you kind of saw that happening. I mean, but then it was when it happened. It's like, dude, like the empathy, the emotion you felt when you saw, they lost a friend, like right then and there. And I think also the fact that they gave him one last hoorah, like that's probably what made it even more emotional. Was the fact that like, they were with him in his last moments and they were having fun, and like they won't have much. I feel like they won't have much regrets on the last moments with him. Like the last moment they had with him, they're laughing, they're drinking beers, they're playing pool, they got into a bar fight. They were supposed to play pool, but they got into a fight. But it's cool. It's like they had that nice brother moment, and Tommy can die without having to have a I would say guilty conscience. Just kind of like he let his feelings out for Allie.
Yes, yeah, I was going to bring that up. So yeah, he talked about how he liked Allie.
So I just want to say this. I mean, it probably wouldn't matter. Like, I mean, it's 30 years ago.
Anyway, by that time, they're like, it's 30 years later. Like, say it. But I think it was great and what he says to Johnny in the show, encouraging Johnny to move, not just move on, but to be better than what they were. And I think didn't he? I guess in a way, sort of encourage Johnny to kind of like go back and like try to reach out to Allie too, in a sense, because Johnny does still have like these feelings for Allie, even though he learned that she's married on Facebook and stuff. But yeah, I think Tommy's death does play a big part in Johnny's character too, and that's why when he came back, he wanted to get rid of Kreese.
Yeah, Kreese, he was trying to show his character, his students, like, look, we don't learn that kind of stuff no more. We want you guys to be better. I think he's getting. I think he's trying to. It's hard for him to because his whole life he learned strike first, no mercy, all that stuff. So, but it's hard for. I think it's transitioning from that. Like it's like I don't know, I've never smoked in my life, but it's like quitting smoke. But I don't know. I think it's just a nature in him. Like that's how he was taught, and he's old school that way.
Yeah, and again, man, the show does it so well for us as viewers to really relate to Johnny's character. And again, he's seen in the light as the bully or the villain when he's not. Almost an anti-hero sort of, but that's kind of a bit overused in movies nowadays. Everyone's an anti-hero now.
Yeah, that's what sells movies. Anti-heroes, dude. Like, I mean, I like anti-heroes, but I'm getting sick of it though. Like,
yeah, it was cool at first, and then like now everyone's doing it. It's like, oh, okay.
It comes out to everyone's personality. Like everyone's like, because everyone knows that they can relate to the anti-hero because it's like they know they're not right, but at the same time they're not completely wrong. But if you're completely too good, then it's like
it's not believable.
it's not believable. So I get it. I mean, I think Superman's the only real good guy out there that people are like can still root behind. But other than that, it's like if you make a character too much of a good character, it's like look at Ned Flanders. Ned Flanders is like You know, supposedly the a good guy, like a really good guy. You know, like he's nice to everybody. He takes he. But then look how people look at him. Like, oh man, this guy's annoying.
Yeah, fucking Homer hates him.
Yeah, that's how life is though. That's how people are though. They don't they think the really nice person is an annoying guy. So it's like, you know, you can't ever really be a good guy anymore in this world. It's like that. Like I said, with wrestling, it's like everyone wants to root for the bad guy or the in betweener. Like it's stupid, you know. But
You know, speaking of bad guys, in the Karate Kid, not Karate Kid, I keep saying Karate Kid, in the Cobra Kai season 3 trailer that they have, Daniel is supposedly back in Okinawa, and he is trying to learn more. I guess what they're showing is more of Miyagi's past, and maybe there's a Chosen teaser there. They don't exactly show him, but I think through the voice, it's probably pretty obvious that it's Chosen, who is the student of Miyagi's friend in Karate Kid 2. And Chosen was the one that Daniel fought in part 2. I think Daniel's going to learn more secrets about Miyagi, and not just that, but also the real roots of Miyagi-Do karate. And what were your thoughts on the that trailer?
I don't think I actually watched a trailer.
No? Oh,
no.
damn. I shared that shit so quick when they posted it on Facebook.
Yeah, I didn't really watch it. I don't know why I didn't watch it, but I didn't watch it. I think because I felt like I thought the shows could come out this month or in October, but it's 2021, right?
Yeah, next summer.
So I don't know. I thought it was gonna come out soon, so that's why I didn't watch it. But I don't know. I thought, you know, they already teased. They already, like, just during season 2, they already kind of teased everything. So like, you know, like they already teased the when Danny picked up that book for Japan. Was it
Yeah.
Okinawa? Yeah, he picked that up, and then the whole ending just itself was of Ali coming back. I think they already teased enough, a lot of it, and um, I think season 3, hopefully it's a stronger season than season 2. Because I feel like they're gonna put a lot into the next season, just because like of all the stuff they tease. You know, there's Robbie's missing, Miguel's still paralyzed or on the verge of almost dying. Tory, you know, we gotta figure out what happened to Tory. There's Kreese and Cobra Kai, and there's Danny going to Japan. That's like what's gonna happen. That's a lot, and I think. Do you know how many episodes they're gonna have? Are they still gonna stick with their 8 episodes, or is
I
it 10
think it might
episodes?
be the same format. I don't think it'll be anything different. If it is, it may be like if they do 12 episodes, then that would be pretty cool. But I mean, they have Netflix budget now, so I'm pretty sure they might extend it.
Like an hour?
Yeah, that would be pretty dope. Right? Instead of 20-minute episodes, it's an hour episode.
Yeah, that's why it's so easy to binge. They're 20 less than half an hour each. But this one, if they go that route, dude, that's a lot. That's a lot that I can think of. Like I said, just Japan, Ali.
I mean, I think they're actually recording in Japan or Okinawa too. Like, I think that's what Ralph Macchio confirmed too. But I mean, even if there are, let's say season 3 is like 1 hour episodes, there's so much you can do with season 3. I mean, like, again, with the alley teaser, Miguel's rehabilitation, the drama between Tory and Sam, and Robbie's story. How is he gonna come back? You know, now that he fucked up even in a worse way, how is Daniel gonna deal with him, or how is Johnny gonna deal with him? Because I think at the end of season 2, Robbie went back to move in with Johnny. Yeah, because Johnny and Daniel had the small fight scene in Johnny's apartment. But even then, like, how is this going to happen? And then Kreese running Cobra Kai at the end of season 2, he fully took over the dojo, you know. And then I think that maybe this is season 3 might give an opportunity of Johnny. He might have to really work with Daniel, and they both as teachers have to work together to teach these students the right way of karate and take out Cobra Kai and Kreese and just eliminate them. I think that's one of the big things that people wanted to see is these two work together. You know, have the humility of Miyagi-Do, but with the aggression of Cobra Kai, like a mixed style of karate.
Yeah. So I think what's gonna happen, yeah, I think they're both gonna finally like understand each other, and they're gonna someone's gonna sit them down. Someone's gonna sit them down. It's probably gonna be Danny's wife. Yeah.
Go to a fucking counselor.
It's like you're gonna sit here talk, you know, because you know she is right. Like to me, I thought that she was right. Like you're letting all this shit get to your head. Like you got your life here. It's like it's not Cobra Kai, it's you, or it's stupid. This whole thing's stupid. And honestly, in hindsight, it is stupid. Like all this high school drama bullshit that should have died years ago. Which
resurfaced. And that's what I like about Daniel's wife too. Like she was the real character in the show. Like you guys are fucking idiots, man. Like don't fight
kids, dude. But I guess that is related to like I've learned it last year when I went to my high school reunion how people are still having those. After 10 years, they still have those feelings towards certain people. I mean, it's 10 years now, dude. Like, come on. Like we had, dude. Like, because we have a whole Facebook page of like our whole class because we don't have a lot of people. We're not like here where they have like 500 plus people. We had like 100, less than 200 people in our class. So it's like we were reading all this drama on the whole group thing. Like, dude, like all this shit, dude. Leave. We're all married. We all have kids. Come on, man.
Oh my god!
Like, there's still so much. There's still so much heat. Like, dude, let this heat go.
Get over it, man.
And then there was even it was like maybe a few years ago. And this is old, but like I was hanging out with these people, this Laotian people, and I guess they went to MSU with people that we know, and they don't like each other, I guess. And like, just so you know, like, because I was hanging out with, I took them to a house party, like their cousin's house party or whatever. I was talking to their uncle, and their uncle was like, "Yeah, I went to school with, because I told him I was Hmong, and he went to school with, people that we know. I'm not gonna say names, and like, they don't get along. So it's like, just so you know, if I ever see like, it's like, don't take this personal or anything, but if we just happen to be in a spot where I see you with them and there's beef, it's like stuff's gonna happen. I'm like, dude, what the hell, dude? Like,
we're grown ass adults, man.
I don't know. That's in my mid-20s. It's like, dude, come on, man.
Like, really? Can you imagine that shit still happening when we're like in our 30s or something?
I'm almost 30, so.
Oh shit.
Like, yeah, but then like that does play in real life though. Like, dude, I guess some people just don't let stuff go. I mean,
yeah, it's bad, dude. Like the just being bitter overall, man. And I think that's what's great again with Cobra Kai. They show you that, like, these guys are old as hell, and they still hold on to these childhood kind of beefs and bitterness that they can't let go. And it's that's why I think the show was phenomenal, man. Like besides the stiff fighting scenes, the writing wise, it was great. It's super relatable. It's just enough nostalgic stuff, but like also progression. And then they also go over with today's society, with how we should talk to each other. Like how Miguel was like asking Johnny, like, that's a bit sexist. You should try to not say that. And Johnny's like, what the fuck? I don't know what you're talking about. So
I did see that, and I thought it was cool. I mean, it's growing in a way, but at the same time, I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old. But part of me feels like, does that stuff still happens in high school? I mean, especially with all this anti-bullying and all this.
Oh yeah, when they were like talking to the students and stuff.
That and the way it looked to me with like the Asian kid, like season 1 with the Asian kid, popular kids trying to fit in. Maybe it's still happening. I don't know. But I didn't go to a high school like that though. Like I don't know about you. I didn't go to high school like that, but I feel like all that stuff. I don't know if I've ever seen that in real life or heard of it in real life. And when I do hear about it, or when I see it on like movies and stuff, it's always like in a place in California or New York or Florida.
Yeah, like a big school. I don't know. Like for me, going to high school wasn't too much of a clique kind of based thing. It's just like if they fucked with you, they fucked with you. If they didn't, then you just kept to yourself. I was in high school. I kept to myself a lot. I had a very small group of friends. I wasn't like, and I was cool with whoever I was cool with, but then it wasn't like where I was chasing to be popular or anything. I could care less. And honestly, for listeners on the podcast here or whoever's watching, I hated high school. So I'm gonna say that right now. I hated high school. I dreaded going to high school. I couldn't wait to get out.
It's a time we're all trying to figure who we are. I mean, that's what they say, but honestly, you don't figure that stuff out until like
So way after, man.
until after college. Dude. Like, I think that's why my sister annoys me a lot. Like when I love my sister, but like when my sister talks, I'm like, oh my gosh, how like just you don't know what you're talking about.
The shit you're going through now is nothing. You still live at home with your parents. They're paying your bills.
Yeah, dude, I don't know how we did it, but we did
Yeah,
it.
dude, like I said, man, when you look back at this stuff, dude, like how we were saying earlier, it's just stuff to laugh at, man. Like I mean, like this, the drama and shit that we gone through in high school. It's just like man, we thought that shit was serious, and it wasn't. It was just like child's play.
Like I had this conversation last year at my reunion with a girl I went to homecoming with. One of those dances. Like we laughed about it. I mean, like you know, we even brought up like the old high school drama stuff too. Like, yeah, I remember you told me that you got annoyed with me because I followed you like a lost puppy, which I laugh about now. Like this guy's like, I mean, come on, you're a kid, like, and I was like, yeah, I did try to sleep with you, and I did follow you around like a lost puppy and all that stuff. So it's like we laughed about it. Like it wasn't like anything personal. I don't hold anything for. I mean, I was stupid. I was a kid. I was a kid in high school. I had hormones.
Oh man.
So it's like,
But
dude, thinking back to those two, like just watching the show, it's like, yeah, like I guess there are some people who can't let that stuff go, but I think it just sucks that one part of the reason why they can't let it go is because like they just happen to show up at the wrong time. Like what was it? I mean,
wrong
just
place, wrong time kind of
yeah,
thing.
wrong place, wrong time. Yeah,
They end at the end, man. They just gotta talk that shit out. That's what it comes down to. These two, like Johnny and Daniel, they have to just hash that shit out. They have to just grow up, let their pride go, and just talk it out. Like, what the fuck happened? Like, where did we fuck up?
and you think they almost hashed it out in season 1 where they're test driving the new
Oh yeah,
Johnny's new car. They're talking at the bar. They're uh you think, and then next thing you know, Robbie shows up. It's like, what's
yeah.
this? It's like, dude, it's just bad timing. Like, look at Miguel showing up at that house and seeing Sam and Robbie together. Bad timing.
Yep.
The fact that she gets grounded, bad timing. I'm just like, and he probably shouldn't have showed up with Robbie at the party. I mean, I don't know. It's just my opinion. I don't want people to be like, well, why not? They're just friends. Not people. It's like I think it's just all bad timing. Like for real. Like good place, right? But like maybe a place you're allowed to be at, but it's just you showed up at the wrong time.
Yeah, but I think overall, with season 3 coming up, that's what I want to see. I don't know how long. I don't know if they're going to try to milk this series out, but hopefully not. I'd love for it to end in a good way. I don't want them to try to like keep milking the Karate Kid franchise, because if they do that, that's going to ruin it. At least for me.
Yeah, it needs to. And I feel like it should end next season.
Yeah, I think they should just, wrap up everyone's storylines, throw in some cameos or some and some major cliffhangers, or like surprise the audience or something. But I think again with my theory, I think that Johnny and Daniel, they're going to have to work together to beat Kreese. They have to in order to stop that cycle of just training bad students and stuff. They have to take out Kreese. I don't know if they have to kill him, but then they got to end Cobra Kai, the teachings and philosophy of Cobra Kai, and then maybe Johnny will make his new school or something like that.
Yeah, they're not gonna kill him. I don't think they're gonna kill him. Like, I mean,
It's too family friendly.
It's not that type of movie or type of show. They're not gonna kill him. I think if anything, they're probably like Kreese will probably do something very bad and finally go to jail. Like they'll put him away. That I think that's as far as I think they'll go. And it doesn't seem like Kreese has much to live for anyway. It's just Cobra Kai is
Right.
all he has left. So I don't think they're gonna kill him. And I think I don't think any of those kids are gonna get back together or get together at all. I think they're all just gonna break up and grow up and go their separate ways. They might be friends. I think Sam might just not date
Right. They
Tory.
go to like college or something like that.
Yeah. So I really don't think they're. It's. I mean, it's bad on all of them if they start dating again. I mean, like
They just in that circle of just dating each other. That'd be fucked up.
I really do not feel like they should go that route because it's not that type of show, or it shouldn't be that type of show. If it is, then to me it just ruins the whole thing. I thought the whole relationship stuff was stupid, anyways. I think Hawk is probably just gonna be like just give in to his inner geekness, because Hawk's one of those guys who, in high school or as a kid, like you talk down about all the geek stuff, and then like when nostalgia
Like,
hits,
yeah, all that shit.
when nostalgia hits, like, man, that used to be my shit. Like, what are you talking about? You used to talk shit about that thing
Yeah.
all the time, dude.
A lot of how these animes or the anime kids nowadays, they we're all closet animes. Like myself, I was a big closet anime fan. Now we're all like, oh my god, I'm a big anime fan, and we get called out for that shit. Like, you didn't even like anime. You only like Naruto and Dragon Ball Z.
Right? So I think Hawk's gonna redeem us. I think something's gonna happen to Dimitri. His name's Dimitri, right? The
Yeah.
annoying skinny kid. Something's gonna happen to him, and I think that's probably gonna be like, yeah, it's stupid. Or who knows? Maybe Hawk might just kind of get himself into big trouble too, and do
Yeah.
something.
He could be the example of like what could happen to one of the kids if they fully, turn heel, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe Sam's friend, the one of Cobra Kai. I think they'll probably hash everything out, and something's gonna happen to where she realizes who she's becoming while being in Cobra Kai. Like, this isn't what I wanted to do. I think Kreese is gonna make them do something. Kreese is gonna have them do something that I think the only one who would probably do it is Hawk, but everyone else will be like, I didn't sign up for this shit,
Yeah.
So
And I mean, I know again, I don't think you said that you didn't see the season 3 trailer, but do you think Chosen or the Japanese girl from Karate Kid 2, do you think they're going to make a comeback in the Karate Kid series?
they'll probably come back. I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring them back. I think so. I don't know about the girl. That was Danny's love interest in the second movie, right? So,
Yeah. And what about Hillary Swank from part 4? I think that'll be a dope cameo, man. If she makes like one quick scene.
I don't know. I really don't know, because I think that's kind of like the Karate Kid that no one talks about.
Or like they mix up Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan into it. I've seen a lot of comments about that too.
Honestly, I feel that that's more likely to happen than Hillary Swank, but I don't know. I don't know about the whole Hillary Swank thing. I mean, that might just be a hush hush type thing. Like, if it does happen, it's gonna be like how the Flash was in the Flash,
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that'd be a pretty cool, interesting thing. Maybe not an important scene, but just the fact that her relationship with Miyagi might play a part with Daniel. Like, oh shit, Miyagi taught, like, when he's learning about Miyagi's past, and he learns that Miyagi had like multiple different students besides just Daniel. I think that'd be a pretty cool reveal. But yeah, man, I can't wait for season 3, dude. And again, thank you for jumping on this episode with me. I know we had a little bit of the mishap in the beginning, but overall, I think this was great. And again, I was telling the listeners and everything too, or whoever's watching or listening when this episode airs, we did do an episode together back in episode 59, which was that Demon Slayer review that we were trying to do, and it just didn't work out. I was telling them that I felt a bit rushed. So if anyone who's interested in listening to that episode, let me know on Facebook or on Instagram, or you can email me at rickyvang92@gmail.com. If you're interested in hearing that episode, maybe we can try to do like a like a 99-cent kind of thing. Just pay me on PayPal for the whole episode that's unedited. That's a stashed episode that I'm not going to put up on the podcast. So like maybe like saved a bunch of unedited stuff for like a future Patreon or a future OnlyFans account. I've seen people post stuff on OnlyFans. Is not just for nudes, all right?
I know.
Content creators are going to OnlyFans because sometimes Patreon doesn't, the certain regulation stuff, Patreon may not allow you guys to do it, but OnlyFans is pretty flexible at the moment. So a lot of people are doing OnlyFans, not just sexy girls showing their boobies on OnlyFans. Other content creators are doing it too. So don't judge me.
That's pretty much what that site is stereotypically like now. I mean, I don't know. It's like chat roulette, how it's supposed to be meeting random people. And then now it's like it becomes a thing where you just chat roulette. It's yeah. I mean, I think the only non-nudity thing that I've heard of was, do you know who Enzo Amore is? He's like a wrestler.
I think I've heard of you talk about it before.
Yeah, he has OnlyFans now to train guys in wrestling. I'm like, that's not gonna work.
Like the virtual training like that?
Yeah, virtual training.
I don't know I know there's some Taekwondo people doing virtual training, which is a bit understandable. They watch you do your form and stuff, but I don't know about wrestling.
I don't know about wrestling either. Like, it's just like, dude, you need
close contact, man, to learn.
Yeah, you need to know how to keep each other safe. Like, you can't just, I mean, how are you gonna, you don't have a ring. Like, how are you gonna bump? Like,
you bump off the hardwood floor.
I mean, you could bump here. I mean, you could, like, honestly, you could bump anywhere. I mean, it's fine. But then, like, how are you gonna keep each other safe that way? It's like, I mean, seminars different. Like, if you're in a seminar, you're trying to get the psychology of things. That's one thing. But other than that, like, yeah, how are you gonna bump? How are you gonna do anything? I think Jason Different Frank actually has online classes for his dojo.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
So I think it's not only fans, but virtually like
or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm like, that'd be cool to do. I mean, but then I think when it comes to like contact sports, I need to be there physically. I mean, I need you to show me how I'm posing wrong, or how am I supposed to hit, and how am I supposed to stand? Because watching you on camera isn't going to help me.
Yeah, some people can't learn that way. But Andrew, I know you were doing a streaming thing for fans who want to kind of just follow your content still. I don't know if you're still doing it recently, but let them know how they can follow you on social media and stuff.
Yeah, they can just follow me on, like, I mean, I have my I think I call it Godeku page, my Godeku page. I think if you find Godeku on Facebook, you'll find me there. I'll probably start doing stuff again soon. I actually have lights. Remember the lights that we use for potluck?
Yeah.
I just bought some. They should be here either tomorrow or Monday.
Perfect.
So I have lights, and then the backdrop I use at my wedding, I'm probably gonna like use it to light that up.
Nice.
I still have a green screen. I think I might just go to the store, like the like Joann's Fabric, and just cut a big green screen and just hang up there and use those lights. So I'll have something set up.
Nice. I can't wait, man. I don't know, I've been like waiting for you to come back and do your content and stuff, because I know you had some pretty good games you were streaming before you started adulting again.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff, dude, I haven't touched since. Like Fallen Order, I haven't touched it since. So I was like, I gotta play that again. I gotta beat that game. But yeah.
All right, so that's pretty much it, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed the Cobra Kai review with Andrew. And again, we weren't set out to break down the entire thing. We just wanted to give our thoughts and talk about the parts that we enjoyed and everything too. So hopefully, you guys like the review and our thoughts on the seasons 1 and 2, and briefly on the movies and stuff. But if you guys disagree with anything we said, or want to add on to what we said too, you can again make sure to just engage. Message me on Facebook at Spoiler Force Podcast. Instagram at RickyVang92, or even on the YouTube page for Spoiler Force Podcast when this episode's on YouTube. And email me at rickyvang92@gmail.com. I might even read some of your emails, man. I wasn't lying about that. I haven't made this known enough yet, but I will like read your guys' emails and stuff if I do like a live weekly stream on Facebook, or even on the episode, like a podcast episode. But yeah, just keep engaging, and thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, thank you, Andrew, so much for making time to do this, man. And yeah, so this is episode 73. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow, like, share, subscribe, and rate Spoiler Force Podcast. For comments, questions, or criticism, you can email me at rickyvang92@gmail.com or message me on Instagram at instagram.com/rickyvang92.